Hello students, welcome to Darasa Online. My name is Madam Joyce Goodluck Limo, mathematics teacher. Our today's topic is sequence and series, and our subtopic is concerned with compound interest. My dear students, in this subtopic of compound interest, we'll be guided by the following things, which are seen here. These are the things which will guide us in explaining this topic of compound interest. My dear students, in compound interest, we will look on the definition of a compound interest. We will look on how to derive the formula of a compound interest. Then we will look on the application of compound interest in real life, how to apply the compound interest. And lastly, I will leave you with the assignment so as you can try to do those questions to know your level of understanding of the lesson. My dear students, compound interest, this is the amount calculated at the end of a given period of time based on a principal at the beginning of the period plus the interest end. My dear students, compound interest, this is the amount of money whereby a certain person invests his or her money at a certain bank for maybe 2 or 3 years. That person after 3 years wants to withdraw his or her money. Then he expects or she expects that his or her money will be amounts invested at the beginning and the interest end after 3 years. And also can say that compound interest is addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit. The addition of interest to the principal of sum of loan or deposit. My dear students, let's see the graph which will explain to us about the compound interest. This is our graph, which is money on y-axis versus time on x-axis. So the amount of money and the time, so you say that a certain amount of money deposited at the bank at a certain time. In this graph, there are two graphs, one with green color and the second one with red color. This one with the green color is the simple interest. Simple interest is the interest obtaining, but this we have learnt it when we were in Form 1. And today we are looking only on compound interest. In this graph, we see the compound interest graph goes upward. From this part here, move upward. It means the graph is increasing upward. Then why this graph of compound interest increasing upward? My dear student, let's see a simple example. My dear student, person X has some amount of money, maybe let's say Tanzanian shillings, let's say 10,000. And this person X wants to deposit or to invest his or her money at bank Y. Then he invests at bank Y. So this person invests his or her money, Tanzanian shillings 10,000 at bank Y. Then after first year, let's say after the first year, person X wants to withdraw, person X want to see the amount of money he or she invests and the interest she or he obtained. Then after 1 year, this amount of money, which is the principal of that person, she or he invests at a certain bank, it will be the same, 10,000, but with addition of the interest. Let's say the interest of this amount after the first year was 500. This makes the total of 10,500 shillings. So this person X, at the first year, the amount of money will be this one, 10,500 shillings. Then at the second year, the same amount. So this amount obtained at the first year will be the principal to the second year. So here in second year, they will count the principal 10,005, then with addition of interest. So this process will go on the third year, fourth year. Then it's the principal, the amount of money which will be obtained here will also be left at bank, then to the third year. Then the amount here on the third year also will be added with the interest. So each year the amount of money is added. My dear students, from that example, that the first year the amount of money was 10,000, and at the first year, when it comes to the second year, the amount of money increase and the time increase. When in the third year, then also the amount of money increase. So the amount of money increase as you increase the number of years. Then this compound interest graph move upward, because the more the money you keep and the more the time the money stay at bank, your compound interest will increase. This lead our graph to be exponential graph, increasing upward according to the amount of money kept in bank and the interest obtained in each year. Those interests are added to the previous principal. My dear student, after seeing how this compound interest is, then the amount of money which is obtained at the end of that year, at the end of a certain year, let's say that you kept the money at bank for 3 years. After 3 years, you want to withdraw your money. So here, after 3 years, you withdraw your money, which is principal plus the interest. The interest which you will earn after these 3 years. So this amount of money, this principal plus interest, will be equals to total amount of money someone will have. My dear students, by looking this amount of money person X has, which is principal plus interest. Amount of money person X has will be equal to P, which is principal, the money at the beginning, plus interest, the interest in after a certain number of years. So when you add it together, you obtain the amount of money. So, my dear students, consider you are given the principal P, the rate of interest per year, which is R, the number of time T, the interest is calculated in a year and the period of any years. These letters enable us to find the formula for calculating the compound interest. Letters P, which is the principal, as we have seen. Then we have the rate of interest per year, which is R. This is the rate of interest. We have number of time. Number of time this interest is given. That is, the rate is maybe 5% per year. That is the time. Also, the interest calculated in a year after any years. This after any years is the year which your money will stay at bank. The year which your money will stay at bank X. So by using these letters, we will find the formula for compound interest. My dear students, let's now look on how to derive the compound interest formula, which will help us to solve different questions concerning compound interest. My dear students, on deriving the formula of compound interest, the formula of compound interest as seen here, this is the formula, which is AN equals to P, inside the bracket there is 1 plus RT over 100 power N. This is the formula used in a compound interest. Now, we need to derive this formula up to see how this formula is obtained. My dear students, to derive this formula, we first recall this formula of interest, which we learned it when we were in Form 1. Interest is equal to PRT over 100. P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time. That interest is equal to principal times rate times time over 100. So, by recalling this formula, we know that the amount of money equals to principal plus interest. Then from here now is where we are going to start to derive our formula for compound interest. The amount of money equals to principal plus, from what we learned in Form 1, the interest is equal to PRT over 100. So instead of putting interest, we replace this one with PRT over 100, because this is the interest and the formula of interest is equal to this one. So it will be P plus PRT over 100. Now, my dear students, this amount of money here obtained, we say this is the amount of money obtained after maybe the end of the first year. Let's say at the first year, the amount of money obtained is amount of money at the first year equals to principal plus the interest, PRT over 100. PRT over 100. So this is the amount of money after the first year. If this is the amount of money obtained at the first year, then amount of money will be equals to, we have P here, the principal here and the principal here, we can factor it out. That's principal equals to 1 plus RT over 100. So this will be the amount of money obtained after the first year. Then let's see the amount of money obtained after the second year. So when we go to second year, the same. That amount of money obtained after the second year will be equals to A2, which this stands for second year, equals to, we know it's the same, P plus interest. This is the same, that at the second year, the same amount of money obtained, that is principal and the interest in. amount of the second year equals to principal plus interest. Now, what is the principal? Principal is the amount from the first year. Then the amount from first year is this one. This is the amount from first year. Then we say amount in second year equals to principal, which is the amount from the first year, 1 plus RT over 100, then plus I. But we also know what is our I. This is the interest. Then this will be equals to amount in second year equals to P1 plus RT over 100 bracket plus PRT over 100. My dear students, after seeing this, this is the amount on the second year. But the amount of the second year, we have PRT over 100, where P, this one, is also the principal. Then the amount in second year will be equals to P1 plus RT over 100. We can factor out P, remaining with RT over 100. But what is P? But what is P? P is amount of money obtained at the first year, which is RT over 100, this one, then it times RT over 100. So this is the amount of money obtained the second year. Let's say RT over 100 is equal to Y. Let's RT over 100 is equal to Y. I need to simplify this expression. It will be the amount in second year equals to P1 plus RT over 100 is equal to Y, bracket plus P1 plus Y, outside there is Y. We factor out P. It will be P in bracket, outside the bracket, then inside the bracket will remain with 1 plus Y plus 1 plus Y, then it times Y. This is the amount at the second year. My dear students, by looking this variable inside the bracket, these are like factorization. The variable inside expression here is already being factorized. It means we have amount in second year equals to P. Inside the bracket, it will be like 1, outside the bracket 1 plus Y, then plus 1 plus Y, outside the bracket Y. So from factorization of expression, this 1 plus Y, 1 plus Y are the same. Then we take only 1. That will be amount in second year equals to P1 plus, we take those outside the bracket, 1 plus Y. Then the single from those are inside the bracket, 1 plus Y. Then amount in second year is equal to principal, then 1 plus Y square. After reaching here, my dear students, we know what is Y. From the beginning, we say that RT over 100 is equal to Y. So we have to substitute our variable. Then this will be equals to amount in second year equals to P1 plus Y is RT over 100, then square. So this is the amount of money obtained at the second year. So at the third year, also the amount will be P1 plus RT over 100 power 3. So this will move on up to AN, which will be equals to P1 plus RT over 100, then power N. Then this is the formula which we will use to find the compound interest of any question. So this is the formula which we will use to solve different questions concerning compound interest. My dear students, after seeing how to derive this formula of a compound interest. Now let us look on the model questions. How to apply this formula in solving different questions. My dear students, our model question number 1. Mwanahamisi deposited Tanzania shillings 100,000 in CRDB Bank at a compound interest of 8% per annum for 4 years. Find how much interest she received. So we need to find the interest that Mwanahamisi received after 4 years. My dear students, from our question, number 1, Mwanahamisi deposited 100,000 Tanzanian shillings. So that is the principal, the amount she deposited at the beginning. That is principal, 100,000 Tanzanian shillings. Then the compound interest or the compound interest rate, which is R, equals to 80% per annum. So it means when they say per annum, it means the time is 1 year. For 4 years, it means number of years is equal to 4 years. Find how much interest she received. We are finding the interest Mwanahamisi received. Find how much interest she received. So from this variable given, then we have to find the amount of money invested at any years with the principal P 1 plus RT over 100 power n. So this is the formula of solving any question concerning the compound interest. So from this formula, we are substituting the variables given from the question. The variable given is A. What is our n? Our n is 4. Equals to principal, which is 100,000 in brackets 1 plus R. R is 8 times 1, which is T, over 100 power n. Our n is 4. So this amount after 4 years will be 100,000. 1 plus 8 times 1 is 8 over 100 power 4. This will be amount at the 4th year equals to 100,000. 1 plus 8 divided by 100. When 8 divided by 100 equals to 0.08 power 4. My dear students, when you find this number inside the bracket, first you have to calculate this amount inside the bracket. Then you will come to find those are outside the bracket. So the amount on the 4th year will be 100,000. Then inside the bracket, 1 plus 0.08 will be equals to 1.08 power 4. My dear students, we'll have to work on this part of 1.08 power 4 by use calculator or multiplication. One can multiply 1.08 times 1.08 times 1.08 times 1.08 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you multiply this 4 times, you will obtain the answer for this part. But by using calculator, you can say 1.08 power 4 by calculator. This will be as, my dear students, since this is the example of a calculator. So this example of a calculator will help you to find how to multiply that number, 1.08 power 4. What you are supposed to do, That number inside the bracket, you have to write it inside the bracket. This is the bracket, then you write the opening bracket like this one, opening bracket. Then you write those number, which is 1.08, 1.08. Then you click the closing bracket, you close the bracket. When you're looking on these keys here, you can find that there is key with x power square, or key with x power 3, or key with x power y. These keys can help you to find the power of a number. So if here were 2, then we can use the key of x square. Or if there was 3, we can use the key of x power 3. But we have 4. The 4 is not on our key. So what shall we do? We are taking the key with x power y. This key of x power y, when you click it, it will take you to the symbol of power. Then after seeing that symbol of power, then you write 4. So this, it means 1.08 power 4. Then after doing that, you click the equal sign. After clicking the equal sign, then the result will seen on the top. That is 1.3604. But after the 4 number, there is 8. We said that when 8 is above 5, then we can approximate here, it will be 5. So this is the value of 1.08 power 4, this one. Then, my dear students, we come back to our question, that is A4 is equal to this one. We say that A4 equals to 100,000. In brackets, we have 1.0 times this one. So this one is what we obtain here, 1.3605. We multiply this number. Then A4 equals to, after multiplying the number, we will obtain 136,050. So this is the amount obtained after the 4th year. My dear students, we have seen the amount obtained after the 4th year is 136,050. So this is the amount. But our question says that find the interest. Then we know that the amount equals to principal plus interest. Then we have already obtained the amount, which is this one, 136,050, which is equal to 100,000 plus interest. So finding the interest, we shift this 100,000 shillings to the left side, it will be minus. So equals to 136,050 minus 100,000. Then the interest should be equal to 36.50. So this is the interest. So this will be the interest Mwanahamisi obtained after 4 years. My dear students, let's look on second question. The second question is, Juma deposits Tanzanian shillings 2 million in NMB Bank at a compound interest of 8% semi-annual for 2 years. Calculate the amount he received at the end of the period. We are calculating the amount he received at the end of the period. My dear students, from the question we have, from the question number 2, we have the principal, which is 2 million shillings. Then the rate, which is 8%. But this rate is semi-annually. It means in a year. The interest is provided 2 times. So it means time here will be semi-annually. The half of the year, that is semi, which is 6/12. Then we can say that this is 1/6, 1/62. So this is semi-annual. Then we have number of year, n. Our n is 2 years. By using this variable, the question asks us to calculate the amount he received at the end of the year. My dear students, from our formula of compound interest, we substitute this variable here in order to find the amount at the end of the period. That is A, our N is 2, that is principal, which is 2 million, 1 plus R, which is 8, times time, which is half, over 100. Then N is 2. But N is 2 because the amount will stay at bank for 2 years. But this amount is given semi-annually. When we say semi-annual, it means that is twice the year. Twice the year of the money, which will be 2 million, 1 plus 8 times 1, 8, 100 times 2 equals to 200, then power 4. The amount at the second year will be 2 million, 1 plus 8 divided by 200, 0.04, then power 4. We calculate the amount inside the bracket. The amount in second year will be 2 million, then 1 plus 0.04 equals to 1.04, then power 4. By calculating it, we have 2 million, 1.04 power 4. By using a calculator or by multiplying this number inside 4 times, we will obtain 1.1698. So, my dear students, after calculating this number 1.04 power 4, the answer inside the bracket will be 1.1698. Then we multiply by the number outside the bracket. The amount in second year will be, we can look here, we have, in 2 million we have 60. But in our decimal point we have 4 decimal points. So this 4 decimal points will cancel with 40. So this 40 will remove the decimal point from this question because you have 4 decimal places and you have 60 in 2 million. So the 4 zeros will cancel the decimal place. Then we will remain with 200, then times, we will remain with these variables 11,698. Then we multiply this number. A amount at the second year will be 2 times 8, 16, 2 times 9, 18, plus 1, 19, 2 times 6, 12, plus 1, 13, 2 times 1, 2, plus 1, 3, 2 times 1, 2, then you have 2, 0. Then our amount is 2,339,600. So this is the amount at the second year. So, my dear student, our question asks us, calculate the amount he received at the end of the period. So we say that the amount he will receive at the end of the second year. My dear student, let's see another example. Example number 3 is, Wajasiriamali Group deposited a sum of money in a certain bank in Tanzania at a compound interest of 12% per annum. After 5 years, they withdrew a total amount of Tanzanian shillings 32,210. Part A, how much did they deposit? Part B, what was their interest? So, my dear students, From our question, we are supposed to find the principal, the amount wajasiriamali group deposited. That is the principal. We don't have the principal from our question, so we are supposed to find the principal, but we were given the amount of money which is 32,210. Also, we are given the rate which is 12%, and we are given number of years, 5 years, and the time equal to 1. So, by using this variable given, we will find part A, how much did they deposit? By using our formula, the amount at the nth year equals to P inside the bracket 1 plus R2 over 100 power N. Our amount at any year, which is this one, equals to 32,210 equals to the principal is what we are supposed to find, then 1 plus rates, which is 12, times T, which is 1 over 100, then power N, which is 5. 32,210 equals to principal, 1 plus 12 times 1 equals to 12. Then you have 12 divided by 100, then power 5. 32,210 equals to principal, inside the bracket you have 1 plus 12 divided by 100 equals to 0 points, then 1, 2, then power 5. My dear students, we have to add the number inside the bracket. That will obtain 32,210 equals to P, 1 plus 0.12 equals to 1.12, then power 5. My dear students, finding the number inside the bracket power 5, you may take this number, multiply it by itself 5 times, as we have seen from the first example. Then, or you can use a calculator to find the answer from this number inside the bracket. My dear students, by finding the variable of this number here, we'll have 32,210 equals to principal, then it times 1.12 power 5 equals to 1.7623. My dear students, when you multiply P times this number, P times 1.7623 will obtain 32,210 equals to 1.7623 P. Then, in order to find the value of P, we divide by 1.7623, we divide by 1.7623 on both sides. Then this one and this one will cancel, we remain with the P. Then P equals to 32,210 divided by 1.7623. By dividing 32,210 divided by 1.7623, we obtain that P is equal to 18,277 and 25 cents. So this will be the amount of P. So this is the principal, the amount deposited by wajasiriamali group. So in part A, we can say that the principal, or we say that in A, part A, that 18,277 and 25 cents is the amount wajasiriamali is the amount wajasiriamali group deposited. Then let's look on part B. My dear students, on part B, we are supposed to find what was their interest. Part B, we are supposed to find the interest. Then we know that the amount deposited at n years is equal to principal plus I. And in our question, n is 5. So the amount deposited after 5 years was principal plus I. And we are supposed to find the interest. It means the principal should move from right hand side to left hand side, which will be, instead of being now positive, it will be negative. Then the amount after 5 years minus principal is equal to interest. Then our interest will be equals, the amount after 5 years was 32,210 minus the principal. Our principal we obtain from A above, which is 18,277 and 25 cents. So, my dear students, when you minus these variables, then you will obtain the interest, which is 13,932 and 75 cents. So, my dear students, the interest now in part B, we say the interest was 13,932 and 75 cents. So this was the interest. My dear students, after looking on those 3 examples, I will leave you with an assignment so as you can try to solve on your own time. Our assignments, question number 1 is, Juliana invested Tanzanian shillings 100,000 in NBC Bank, which paid 5% per annum compound interest. Find the amount in the bank at the start of the 8th year. Question number 2. My dear students, question number 2 states, calculate the compound interest in the following principal P after being invested at the given rate of interest R per annum for any years. Part A have principal is 50,000 Tanzanian shillings with rate of 6% in number of year 3 years. Part B, principal is 8,000 Tanzanian shillings with rate of 14% and number of year is 6 years. And part C, the principal is 200,000 shillings with the rate of 3% and number of year 1 year. And the last question on our assignment, this one, state that a month's salary is increasing by 1/10 each year. It increased by 1/10 each year. If it starts at 800,000 Tanzanian shillings, what will be the amount after any years? So have to find the amount after any years. So, my dear students, those are our assignments. Then, please try to do it on your own time. Find the answers. Thank you very much for listening and watching the lesson. I welcome you on the next lesson. You are warm welcome.